Hey, we're here out in the backyard on June 27th, and I'm doing a sort of a general tour of the garden here that we have, and not going to get into a lot of specifics. We're just going to sort of do a general, see how everything's growing and what everything's doing. I want to first thank our sponsors, South Central Louisiana State University, home of the mud dogs. Farmer Fran and I have been exchanging some techniques on how to grow things, and he's all into what we've got going on here. And so anyways, let me get started. We've got, I think, in our prior videos we did some of the small garden plots. These are starting to come out. We've got all different sorts of things growing. We've got our bramble bushes. We've got kale that's sort of, kind of at its life. And then we've got Brussels sprouts growing back here. We've got our first zucchinis. This is a zucchini romesco, so a little bit sweeter than regular. We've got a squash, artichokes, all different sorts of things growing back there. And then in the rest of our spring plots, we've got the garlic that's just now starting to sort of getting ready to get pulled up. We've sliced off out all of the lettuce and spinach and all that. We'll just basically clear this entire bed out here in the next month. And then you can see the peas have gone, and the green beans will now start taking over that entire trellis, and they're just starting to climb now. These here are the Asian green beans. These are the yard long ones, and these will be about that long once they get up and get started. Along here we've got a bunch of different stuff, a lot of brambles, blackberries. I just put a tomato plant in there for what the hell, right? And so now I'm going to sort of give you a shot of the entire garden. Down the line we've got all of our asparagus plants, and what you're seeing with the asparagus now, it's later in the season, they're actually ferns. So they're starting to fern out. So if you see, like, here's a sprig that comes up, that's sort of the asparagus that you're used to looking at, and then after a while they start turning into these. And basically you let them turn to ferns so they have enough to grow back. I mean, we've had asparagus here since March, so now you start letting them fern out, and you don't get any more asparagus, but they just do their thing and come back next year. And you can see the blackberries throwing up their new canes, and we've got the corn going here, so it's about knee high, so we're pretty good shape. And we've got all of our various different melon plants are starting to grow in. For whatever reason, the watermelons didn't take so much, but if you walk along, these are all melons. We got muskmelons, honeydew, all different sorts of stuff. And then here starts the cucumbers. They've been getting chewed up, so I need to spray them with some neem oil. I just haven't got around to it, but basically they're just going to climb and take over this whole thing in the next 2 to 3 weeks. There's just going to be cucumbers hanging all down here. And here we've got our sweet potatoes. They're just starting to really take off. I grew those mostly from, some of them were transplants, but most of them were just little splits that I got ordered online. Here's what's left of our rhubarb, still throwing up just enough to get more spears next year. These are the 3 plants I have. And then we start getting into our tomatoes down through here, and you can see all the basil plants. I'll do a separate thing on basil because we've got about 10 different types growing, and what do I do with it, what type of pestos do I make, how do I do it. Well, I'll do a separate thing on that, but that's all. You can see all the basils. And then down here we have eggplant growing. This is actually a white eggplant. It's a little milder, and the flea beetles have kind of left this one alone a little bit. Here we've got all of our tomatoes. Like I said, they're about 2 weeks behind what they would normally be. So normally they'd be loading up right now with with green tomatoes, and there's a couple here or there, but most of the plants are on flowers rather than just tomatoes. You know, they should be loading up here for like a mid-July harvest rather than an early July harvest. And there's about 25 different varieties that we grow. They're just starting to take off. I didn't get these plants in until about Memorial Day weekend. So everybody that, you know, says, oh, we can't plant because it's June 1 or it's late or whatever, just plant. These here are potato plants, and they really greened out this year because we got so much rain and early, and it was cool and rainy, and I've really built them up in the bed. I mean, you can see these were mounded almost 2 feet up. And they're still going. So we'll see what we get for potatoes, but if there's any indication of what's going on below the soil is what's going on above the soil, we're in good shape, but I'm not so convinced. We'll see. Anyways, so this is my trellis for tomatoes. I'll do a segment on this later as to how we put this up and how it works, and later on there'll be tomatoes over my head, but you'll see this is all my tomatoes down here. There's 60 plants in here, and we've got another 20 back in there. And then if you come down along this line over here, you can see all the pepper plants growing. You know, we've got various different peppers of all shapes and sizes. And then finally our, you know, the secret all-star is the Bubba Fett poop in the middle of the garden there. That's the rabbit poop that I fertilize everything with, and so that's the secret all-star. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the garden video, and I'd like to thank again our sponsor. Farmer Fran and I have been talking it up, and South Central Louisiana State is looking for a big year today. Go Mud Dogs, you can do it!